ready.
Fernando Pimentel of the Fight Guys here once again with the returning crew.
Steven Fernando, Art Sports on YouTube.
Dominic Verdeen of BoomTV.com and IFL TV over in the UK.
And Fred Hall. And of course we are here, as you can see, by Kathy Duva, main event, and Egis of Sergey Kovalev. Obviously we're going to be talking about Sergey Kovalev and him getting this fight. And obviously this fight being thought of, whoever wins is the #1 fighter in the world.
That makes me very happy. I am very anxious to see that bout, and probably his whole team is waiting for it.
I was pleasantly surprised to see how athletic Sergey Kovalev is, because people say he's not just that, but I saw him on the heavy bag. He was damn near just as athletic as an Ward. And I asked John David Jackson if he has the equalizer. How do you expect the fight to turn out? Being that what you knew, I just learned today. What do you expect?
Andre's a better fighter than people probably think, and Sergey's a better boxer than people think. And I have a feeling that they are both such elite fighters that this is going to be more about Sergey's ability to box and Andre's ability to fight. But in the end, Sergey's got that equalizer.
You know, we saw that in the Bernard Hopkins fight. We saw a different side to Kovalev. We saw that he was able to box a lot more. Did he become a better fighter from that fight?
I believe he learned a lot when he was fighting Bernard Hopkins. He had a very good experience. People before Hopkins fight couldn't realize Sergey can box too. Everybody was thinking about Sergey just can come in the ring, knock the people out and walk out. But you know, look what he did with Bernard. He won every single round by all 3 judges.
You know, everybody talks about Ward being the defensive genius. You know, he's got that unbreakable defense. And Kovalev get a decision, because everybody's saying he's got to get that knockout.
The last of his 2 fights? What defense are you talking about? I didn't see no defense.
What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that?
Look, Sergey, since he started fighting in the United States, he's lost 2 rounds. So judges seem to be perfectly happy with what he does. He won every round against Andre Ward, so I think it will be clear who wins.
I've never heard a fighter say that they see the fight 50-50. I mean, obviously a lot of fighters say that and stuff like that. I mean, usually as a fighter, even Sergey himself said that normally he sees himself winning the fight, maybe not 100%, but more than 50-50. What do you think that means going into this fight for your guys?
She just wants you to be guys excited.
I also want to get your take. A lot of people, like he was saying, think the winner of this fight will be pound for pound the best fighter in the world. But you also have another magnificent fighter, Vasily Lomachenko, who a lot of people also say is the best fighter in the world. What do you think? Who would be the best fighter in the world? Say Kovalev wins this fight.
Vasily Lomachenko hasn't made that statement yet. He's a very good fighter. He is a future pound-for-pound fighter, but he's not a pound-for-pound fighter today. Today we're talking about Sergey Kovalev. Sergey Kovalev beat Bernard Hopkins. Kovalev beat Franco Spalkai. Sergey Kovalev right now in the ring with Andre Ward. If he beats Andre Ward, Vasily Lomachenko is a very, very good fighter. Very good fighter. But he's not pound-for-pound fighter today.
Let me add to that, because obviously looking forward to the future is your job. You're looking for Sergey's opponents here and there, after fights and before fights. With Kovalev fighting Andre Ward, and let's say he does defeat Andre Ward, where does Sergey go from there? You know, Vasily has so many... No, what I was going to say, because Vasily has so many people in that 130 and 126 pound range that he could fight, while Sergey Kovalev seems to be just Andre Ward and maybe just Adonis Stevenson, if that's even possible. But beyond that, where does each fighter go?
First of all, who said he's going to be 126 and 130?
Correct.
He's going to move to 135.
Okay.
So that opens even more doors.
Exactly.
As far as the Sergey Kovalev, you can ask Kathy. She has a huge plan. The sky's the limit.
Look, when Floyd Mayweather established himself as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, nobody said, well, Floyd, where do you go from here? Once you become the best, now they come after you. So I think they'll be a very long.
November 19th, someone has to walk out with the winner. And obviously you want Sergey Kovalev. you said you don't do the celebration, pick the celebration until the fight night. How nerve-wracking is it to know that this carrot is dangling? Literally, you will be the queen of boxing, and Sergey Kovalev will be the king of boxing.
It's not about me, it's about him. And I've been chasing that carrot my whole life. I've caught it a few times with my husband during main events. We had some wonderful nights, and we hope this is just another one.
Sergey, we know Sergey Kovalev has the physical attributes. He has that equalizer, that knockout power. What else does he have in his arsenal?
He has great ring intelligence. He has great distance. He has the ability to cut off the ring better than anybody I can think of. And he has just this mind. He's playing this three-dimensional chess all the time in his head. I've rarely seen him fight the same way twice. And I think that's the biggest problem for his opponents. It's because he's going to adjust. And that to me has always been the hallmark of a great fighter, is that ability to adjust during a fight. You can plan all you want, but something happens and it doesn't go according to plan. Now what do? You got to have a plan B and a plan C and a plan D. He's got them all. And he's got a great trainer there who's been preparing for it. And in the end, Sergey's the guy in the ring, and he's the guy who has to fight the fight. He always seems to come up with an answer.
Right. And what dangers do you see that Ward presents in this fight?
Well, I think he's equally intelligent, and I think he has that command of distance. He has all that experience. He's never lost since he was a child. That kind of confidence.
He was like 12,
It's hard to duplicate. They come from, it's funny that we've been saying this to the promotion, they come from two completely different places, and yet they end up in the same ring on the same night, going for the same thing. It's fascinating. Ward's history of having, been that winner when the chips were down in the Olympics and all those pro fights, and all, he's got that amazing confidence and belief in himself. Sergey is more the guy with the chip on his shoulder who's coming to prove something all the time. I don't know that Ward needs to prove anything anymore, so it's a little different dynamic, but it's going to be interesting. It's a 50-50 fight. I will admit it too. We think Sergey will win, of course. We hope he'll win, but I think it's a honest assessment. If you go into this fight and say, hey, we're going to win easy.
Because Kathy's saying it's a 50-50 fight. Obviously, a lot of people think that, but I want a prediction from you. I know you like giving predictions. So tell us how this fight is going to end.
It's a 50-50 fight. Sergey Kovalev going to win.
Well, how? How is that happening?
Do you think it goes to decision, KO? What do you think Sergey does to pull this off?
He gets the victory.
He gets a victory, and I'm not going to shy to say it's going to be knockout in a little round. Sometimes after 7.
Can I ask one question? How has it been working with Rock Nation? We saw the implosion of the first press conference.
You just want to make a trouble?
No, I had that. No, these are just normal questions. Oh, normal questions.
I'm going to be real smart with this one. I'm not going to explain or
Yeah, speaking about working with Rock Nation, talk to us about the undercard. Obviously, we see Curtis Stevens in the ring right now, working with John David Jackson and everything. He's going to be fighting James De La Rosa. We have a Clarissa Shields on there as well. Who's the fourth fight? Who will be filling out that as well?
Well, we've got Egis Klimas against Egis Spider.
The nail?
Did you say
Nail goes it.
I was afraid to say his name.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
He's not mine. I didn't have to worry. But Isaac, I think, is a tremendous fight because you have a guy with a lot of experience coming in, a young guy, and we're going to see, what happens. They both have everything on the line.
Do y'all flip a coin for who gets the co-main event? How does that work? Just out of curiosity.
It really came down to logistics because John David is training camps, so we needed to put him on the card. And Roy Jones is training Isaac Chilemba, and he's going to be doing the broadcast. So those are going to be starting with Roy first.
Okay, that's interesting. I never knew that because I know it's a lot of.
John has time to go back during
The rapping and everything, just to prepare Sergey. Yeah.
rapping is
Rapping hands, yes.
So at one point there was a rap. Anyway, no.
Well, we did see in Miguel Cotto versus Canelo. They did have a concert, so yeah, you're right.
That seems like a point of contention. They really want to push a rapper on you on this?
So anyway, so that's why they will be fighting early because the people in their corners have other things to do. So
Give us a little-
practical.
Give us a little breaking news. Was Jay-Z the one who was going to at that
I
concert?
don't think so.
Ingis, finally, just give us your thoughts on what to expect November 19th, not only from both of your fighters, but on the entire card overall. What should the fans expect on that night?
Well, listen, it's a brilliant card, especially being the main event and the co-main event in the light heavyweight division. Right now, light heavyweight division is booming. We have best fighters, best 4 fighters from the light heavyweight division fighting on that day, and undercard, including that girl from the Olympian undercard. I believe show's gonna start. The promoter is not putting like a bunch of wagon of fights where people just come in and get bored. It's not gonna be 12, 9, even 9, but seven fights altogether, whole card. With every fight, it means every single fight it means something. So people who are gonna come earlier, they're gonna be enjoying boxing.
And your thoughts as well on the night, what fans should expect that night on November 19th from the card on your behalf and Rock Nation's behalf.
Knockout after 7 rounds. That's what people should expect.
No, we tried to make fights that are interesting for various reasons. We did the best we could, and I hope fans agree. I think that if you come, you'll be entertained. We can't, every fight can't be the biggest fight in the world, but what we tried to just do is make as competitive fights as we could for everybody with the budget we have. And I think we've succeeded, and I think there's a lot of interesting stuff on the card, and I hope everybody tunes in for the whole thing.
As Kathy Duva just said, please tune in November 19th on HBO pay-per-view. Main event is Sergey Kovalev versus Andre Ward, obviously for the #1 pound-for-pound title. As everybody's saying it, I am Fernando Pimentel, BehindTheGloves.com, and the Fight Guys with
Frederick Hoffman.
Dominic Verdine.
Stephen Correano, KOR The Sports on YouTube.
And as always, see you fight fans at the fights. Thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.